Well, the war on Iran is not the first time Washington has tried and failed to impose regime change in another country under the pretext of bringing freedom to its people. The NATO occupation of Afghanistan lasted 20 years and cost trillions of dollars, but still ended with the Taliban returning to power while US-led troops fled in disarray. RT correspondent Don Coulter takes a closer look at the parallels.
It's another American deja vu in the Middle East. Iran's got a new supreme leader, and it looks like the head of state's name tag won't need much revision because it's none other than Ali Khamenei's son, Mojtaba Khamenei. It goes without saying the people already love him. Like father, like son, the younger Khamenei was sanctioned back in 2019 for supporting his father's destabilizing regional ambitions, according to Washington. And to kill those ambitions, the U.S. spent $6 billion in the first week of strikes against Iran alone. Billions of dollars to kill one Khamenei and have him replaced with another. On top of that, Washington's lost some of its most advanced radar infrastructure to Iran's retaliation, leaving U.S. THAAD missile defense batteries essentially blind.
During operations to suppress enemy missile defenses in the region, 4 highly advanced radar units of the U.S. THAAD system were targeted and destroyed. The radars were providing real-time data to the missile defense networks of the Israeli regime and the United States.
Washington's inability to protect its forces from ballistic Iranian missiles has resulted in the deaths of 7 U.S. troops, according to its own estimates. Tehran, however, puts that figure a lot higher, at 500 servicemen. That's all as the war drags on. America's mothers are worried their sons might be drafted to fight a war for Israel. And Trump's not making any promises that that nightmare won't become a reality.
Mothers out there are worried that we're going to have a draft, that they're going to see their sons get in and daughters get involved in this. What do you want to say about the president's plans for troops on the ground? As we know, it's been largely an air campaign up until now.
It has been, and it will continue to be, and President Trump wisely does not remove options off of the table. I know a lot of politicians like to do that quickly, but the president, as commander-in-chief, wants to continue to assess the success of this military operation. It's not part of the current plan right now, but the president, again, wisely keeps his options on the table.
It's no wonder Americans aren't in the mood for another drawn-out conflict. Their last one in Afghanistan lasted 20 years. It costed over $2 trillion and killed hundreds of thousands of people. And in the end, the Taliban didn't go anywhere, despite all of the U.S.'s threats and demands.
More than 2 weeks ago, I gave Taliban leaders a series of clear and specific demands. Close terrorist training camps, hand over leaders of the al-Qaeda network, and return all foreign nationals, including American citizens unjustly detained in your country. None of these demands were met. And now, the Taliban will pay a price. The battle is now joined on many fronts. We will not waver. We will not tire. We will not falter. And we will not fail. Peace and freedom will prevail.
That's not to mention how many collaborators of the pro-U.S. regime were left to fend for themselves, or the people trampled in crowds, falling to their deaths from a plane amid the chaotic withdrawal of U.S. troops.
Last night in Kabul, the United States ended 20 years of war in Afghanistan, the longest war in American history.
Not only did the Taliban survive all of the efforts of the allegedly strongest military in the world, they were victorious across all of Afghanistan.
Freedom and independence. Seeking is a legitimate right of every nation. The Afghans also exercised their legitimate right after 20 years of struggle for freedom and for liberating this country from occupation. This was our right, and we achieved it.
As the U.S. spends billions of dollars on what looks like another regime change attempt, one has to wonder if the U.S. jumped out of one quagmire war in the Middle East several years ago, only to end up in another. You know what they say, he who does not learn from history is bound to repeat it.